everybody, Morgan with an answer here, and today I want to walk you through how to plan and host a virtual baby shower. Now, one of my best friends from college had her first child and is the first child amongst all of my close friends from college, and so we decided to throw a baby shower for her. The main obstacle to that, though, is we're spread across 5 different states and multiple time zones. And right now, we just can't get on a plane to meet each other in person. So I decided to host a virtual baby shower for her, and I want to walk you through all of the steps I took to plan that baby shower and how we'll host that party. So let's get right into it, and I'll walk you through exactly how to do this. There are a lot of ways you can host a virtual baby shower. So say all your family and friends are in one area, but maybe your mother-to-be is in a different area. Maybe they're a military family, living abroad, something like that. But where everyone else is kind of in one spot, what you can do is host a physical party and then Skype in or video call in your mother-to-be on a big screen or a TV at the party, so the mom can be involved in that party, see what's going on, everyone can interact, and if people send their register gifts directly to the mom-to-be, she can open those on camera, and you really get that same feel as an in-person baby shower, even if the mother-to-be is a long way away. Another way you can celebrate is by setting up a Facebook group that's private. So if you have a lot of people you want to have involved in your baby shower, but everyone is kind of spread around, this is a great solution because everyone can join the group and it's more of a chat forum. You can post questions or fun written games. People can leave well wishes for the baby. You can also leave registry information on that page. And then maybe at some point the mom-to-be could do a virtual Facebook Live or something of opening the gifts or some kind of message to everyone who participated, and this could span a couple days. And that way everyone can feel involved even if no one can get together at the same time. Another way you can celebrate is on a shared video call, and this is the route my friends and I are going to take. Everyone gets on at the same time on the same day, so everyone can participate together and chat with each other, and everyone can see each other on this kind of format. So this is the one I'm going to dive deep into and show you step by step how to plan this party. If you're interested in some of those other party setups, I'll leave some links below so you can dive deep into those. I'm going to assume that you're the one that's hostessing this party. So the first step that you want to take is to get in contact with your mother-to-be and figure out a guest list. How many people does she want to be involved? Is this a big group or a small group? What is the technical skill level of those who are going to be joining you? Is everyone on a same social media platform that would make it easy to communicate this? So you want to talk through some of those things with her, and then once you have a good idea of that, the next thing you want to decide is the platform that you're going to use for your party. Now, there are all kinds of different social media platforms and virtual video call tools. Some of the really good ones out there are Zoom, Google Hangout. You could FaceTime or even use Facebook Messenger video call. It just depends on kind of the tech savviness of your guests and if everyone has a similar platform. And also the size of your group. So if you're looking at 15 to 30 people being on this video call at once, I would lean more towards Google Hangout or Zoom. They're built for larger groups and can handle that. They have a lot of really good tools to manage everyone who's in the call, muting microphones and things like that, so there's not too much chatter. Zoom also has a lot of really great information on their website to help you get started on that. So I'll try and link some of that info below if you want to go that route. For my friends and I, because there's only 5 of us getting together and because we all already communicate on Facebook Instant Messenger, that's where we're going to be having our party. So we're all going to log on to Facebook Messenger at a certain time this Saturday and have our party. Once you've chosen your platform, you want to test it out. So don't wait till the day of the party to get on Zoom for the first time or try out a new thing. Get together with someone in another place and test it out. Make sure you understand how it works, and so that you can write instructions for other people who may need some help getting onto that call as well. Let's talk invitations. So I think you could go virtual or physical with this, and there's so many gorgeous designs out there that it's really easy to get a hold of them. You can pop on Etsy and pick out a design that you like. I'll leave some link below as well that will help you with your planning process, and you can go either way with this. This could be an email that you send out to everyone with an image of the invitation, or you could send out physical invitations with all of the details in them. So I don't think there's a real difference there, just up to personal preference and how you want to communicate with your guests. The information you need includes the date and the time, and specifically time zones. So for my friends, we're spread across Eastern and Hawaiian time. So I have to be very clear about when we're getting together because I'm in Central time, and we want to make sure that we're all getting on the same page of when we need to meet. So make sure you're very clear about the time on your invitation, and if people are in different time zones, specifying which time zone you're planning to be in. You also want to include registry information, so if your mom-to-be is registered at one or two places, include that on your invitation, and whether it's print or digital, either of those will work fine. I would also include on your invitation the mother-to-be's address. So when you're doing this virtually, you want to have the gifts go directly to her, and if not everyone knows her address, she's going to be fielding a lot of phone calls asking for it. So go ahead and include that on your invitation for ease of use for all of your guests. You also want to include your venue. So whatever platform you're going to be using, whether that's Zoom, Google Hangout, FaceTime, Facebook, make sure you're very clear on where you'll be gathering and include some instructions so that your guests know how to get on there. So Zoom is very easy. You can have a link. So if you're doing digital invitations, drop the link in there. People can click on it, include the password if you have one. Just make sure you give your guests all the details they need to successfully join your party, because you don't want anyone to be frustrated trying to get in there. You also want to include an RSVP. This will help you know how many people to expect. If someone isn't on the call and you know they should be, you can reach out to them individually and see if they're having issues getting onto that call. And if you're planning to send out any kind of party kits, this lets you know how many kits you need to send out and to who. Speaking of party in a box, I decided for our party, since there's only a few of us and they're all really close friends, to assemble parties in a box. So everyone has been shipped a party kit, including treats, decorations, and other things, so that we can all have that shared experience as we get together. Now, you don't have to do this, especially if you've got a lot of people, you may not want to. But if it's something you're interested in, I'll be sharing that once I get through all of these steps. Let's break down your role as the hostess of the party. It's your job to make sure everyone is interacting with each other, having a good time, and you're pacing the party out. So usually at a normal baby shower that's in person, you would have a greeting time, you would have some games maybe, and then you'd have a time for gifts, and then maybe some general just chatting with everybody. And it's the same thing on the video call, but you do have to be a little bit more structured with it so that everyone's not talking over each other and there's some rhythm to your party. So ahead of time, you want to lay out a plan for the party. So say your party is an hour, you're going to give yourself a block of time for greeting and everyone getting on that video call, making sure everyone is successful in doing that, and then getting into an icebreaker or a meet and greet so that everyone knows who's on the call and what their relationship is to your mother-to-be. Then you can hop into games or whatever activities you want to have during your baby shower. Plan those out and then plan out a time if the mother-to-be is planning to open gifts on that call. Make sure you give yourself enough time for that as well. And then have like a wrap-up period where everyone can kind of go back to chatting and let the conversation flow. But you do want to think through the layout of how you want the party to go. While we're on the subject of games, there's a lot of different ways you can play games in a virtual baby shower. You can play games that require no props or props that people may already have in their houses. And this is things like get to know you games, icebreakers. This could be guess the mom's belly size. You know, mom can measure her belly and everyone can just verbally go around and take their guesses and then find out what that measurement is. And that doesn't require any props on the side of your guests. Another avenue you can have games is through printed games. There's all kinds of these on Etsy, and I'll have some linked below as well. And these are just printed cards that are, guess the name of this baby animal, word scrambles, baby bingo. There's lots of them out there, and these work really well for virtual parties because you're not having to pass supplies between people to play a game. Everyone's got their own piece and everyone can play verbally, and then you can reveal your answers at the end. You can send these out ahead of time as physical cards, or you can have a link in either your video chat, or say you've got a Facebook group or something. You can have them digitally that people can download and print out on their own side and play that way. So you don't have to necessarily mail a physical piece for people to be able to play. Now there are some games you can play that do require props, but a lot of times people have these in their house, or if you're doing a party in a box kit like I did, you can send some of these things ahead of time. One of those is Don't Say Baby, the game where you put clothespins on your shirt and every time you say baby, you have to remove one. That's a great one to do. Most people have those on hand, or you can send them ahead of time. In my kit, I sent Play-Doh, so we're going to do a Sculpt a Baby contest, and everyone's going to have their Play-Doh, and the mom-to-be will pick the winner of who she thinks the best sculptor was. So there's a lot of different ways to play games, so don't feel limited that even though you're not in person, there's lots of things you can do to have fun at your baby shower. The next thing to think about is decorations. Now decorations are not required for something like this if you don't want to. But if you do want to have a little bit of a festive atmosphere, I would first say make sure your mom-to-be has decorations where she is and behind her in her camera view. I think that's probably the most important. And if you were to send a party in a box to anyone, I would make sure to send one to your mom-to-be. You could send it with your gift at the same time, bundle it all together, and that way she feels special and has those kinds of things to either hang in the nursery afterwards, and everyone can see it and see how fun that is. And if you want to be extra special, you can send these party kits to everyone. And it doesn't have to be something extravagant. It could be as simple as some balloons, some pennants, some backdrop fans, or even coordinating food materials like plates and straws and things like that. They all kind of make that atmosphere of the party. So if you want to send those out to guests ahead of time, it makes for a really fun look. But don't feel like you have to send out decorations. Let's talk food and beverage. If you want to have coordinating treats for your party, there's a lot of ways you can go about it. It could be as simple as sharing a family recipe. So if someone wants to, they could make, whatever that is, whether it's a cookie recipe or a special trail mix or the family's, favorite punch recipe. It doesn't have to be extravagant, and those who want to participate can, but it's just that shared experience that you're gaining. If you want people to all have the same treat, there's a lot of businesses now where you can go online and order cookies and cupcakes and specialized beverages and have those sent directly to your guests. Or you could make a kit and include those as well in your party in a box. The last thing to think about is favors or thank yous. And favors I don't think are always required, and that's up to you if that's something you'd like to do, but I think it's always a great gesture when you can have a thank you, and that can be a lot of different things. That could be a quick message from the mother-to-be thanking her guests. It could be a digital photo or family recipe that she shares. It could be a handwritten card from her after the party. If you wanted to do something physical and you were planning to do a party in a box, you could send a physical favor in that as well. So it's kind of up to you if you'd like to do a favor, but definitely make sure a thank you goes out to all of your guests. And now to my favorite part of planning this whole party is putting together the party in a box kits for all my friends. Now, this is not required, this is totally extra, but I love my friends and we're such a small, tight group. I figured going this extra step would be so much fun, and it allows us all to share the same experience, have the same things, be eating the same treats at the same time. So this is totally extra, and I know it, but if it's something you would like to do, let me show you what I put in this box. I specifically chose a box that had one opening and had this flap open, and that gives you a real opportunity for special presentation. If you have a box that has regular flaps, it does give you the potential for them to open the box upside down, and I just didn't want that to happen, so I specifically used a box that had one hinge and opened in one direction. So when they open that box, they get this beautiful presentation as they open it. The first thing you see when you open the box is the invitation. Now, I sent these out digitally ahead of time, but I wanted to include a physical one as well as kind of a memento and to just reinforce that time and date to everybody. So this is an invitation I created, and I'll have it in the link below if you like this cute bunny theme. I love that this is the first thing you see because it reinforces the theme of this sweet bunny rabbit and all this pink fluffy tissue paper. And with that tissue paper, I've closed it up with custom stickers that I made that also have the bunny on it. And I think this just gives it a really beautiful touch. I love when I buy something off Etsy and the packaging is so well done. You know, it's wrapped in tissue, it's got a beautiful card with a sticker holding it all together. Like, I just love when I get that, and I think it's a beautiful moment when you open a package like that. So I wanted to include it as well for this gift. And it's so simple to put the tissue paper in the box like that. I just folded it so that it fit precisely down into the box, and it just adds such a nice touch. Plus, it holds everything together. The main thing you want to think about is not letting things shift in the box as this ships. So adding that tissue paper with the sticker was one more layer of holding everything in place as it goes through the mail system. Let me walk you through everything that's in the box. So all of the fluff in there is pink, just shredded paper, and bonus, I got it on Easter clearance for super cheap, so that helped out really well. But do pick a really nice filler to protect your pieces and something that looks really nice. I wanted to include all of the usual food elements you see at a baby shower. So I wanted to have something that was punch, something salty, and something sweet for everyone to enjoy. I included sparkling juice into my box as the beverage of choice because I love fun punches at parties, and this kind of gives that feel of something sparkly and a little different without having to include multiple things. But you can definitely do custom cocktails or punch mixes into this. You could have like little packets of lemonade that you add to a can of Sprite. Or if you know your guests drink alcohol, you can get all kinds of these little alcohol in like 2 ounces that ship really well. So you could basically build your own cocktail pieces, tie them together really cute, and you've got a cocktail for all of your guests. For the salty part of my food medley, I decided to go with this garlic and herb cheese wedges, and it came with 6 wedges in a package, but I chose this specifically because it's shelf stable and doesn't need to be refrigerated. I wanted to make sure I picked things that would survive shipping well and taste good by the time they got there. So that's why I decided to go with this cheese product specifically, and I paired that with some gourmet crackers. And I didn't want to just send a whole ream of crackers to my friends, so I decided to get 2 different varieties and put them in a snack size zip bag and get all the air out and make sure they were packed really tightly. And I just folded that over and added some washi tape to it, and that just made it so it looked like it coordinated and took it to a little bit of a nicer level. And even though it's in a snack bag, it's okay because it looks like it belongs. For the sweet part of my medley, I decided to make lemon shortbread cookies. We're in the spring, so lemon is perfect for this time of year. But I also chose this for its shipping capabilities. I wanted a cookie that would not crumble the moment the package got dropped, and I had to avoid things that had chocolate in it because one of my friends lives in Hawaii and we're going into summer here. I don't want to pick something that's potentially going to melt while it's sitting on her porch. So keep in mind as you build your box and the things you put in it, will it survive shipping and will it arrive in a nice condition? So I decided to go with these lemon cookies, and if I can find the recipe, I'll link it below for you. They turned out really nice. Make sure you're thinking about the timeline. You don't want to make things too far ahead to maintain that freshness so that when they arrive at your guest's house, they're still nice. For the packaging on this, I did a similar thing as the crackers. I just put the 2 cookies back to back so that they're nice and stable, and then I let all the air out of my zip bag and then tied them pretty tightly with some twine. The twine has 2 purposes. A, it looks really nice, and B, it's going to keep those cookies together and back to back. The less moving around they do and banging against each other, the more likely they're to arrive in one piece. I also included all of the paper goods everyone would need to eat and drink all of their treats with. So I included these paper straws as well as a coordinating plate and napkin, and this just makes it really fun. It coordinates all the colors together and just gives you that feel of being together again. And for the napkins, I just folded them corner to corner. This gives them a nice look. They still lay flat, they still ship really well, but it just looks a little nicer. I included themed decorations in everyone's box, and that way they can have a festive atmosphere as we all get on the call together. I ended up sending custom pennants with the baby's name on them, and they're all in the bunny theme, so if you'd like those, I'll have those linked below so you can print some out for yourself. I also included a set of balloons for everybody. The balloons just adds a nice fun touch, and they ship super well. We're planning to play some games during the shower, so I've included a couple in the box here. One of them is a printable I made that's a baby match game. So you have to match all of the animals to their baby name, which I think would be super fun and easy to do. I've also included some Play-Doh. One of my friends suggested playing the baby sculpt game where everyone tries to make their best baby sculpture and the mother-to-be picks the winner. So on her suggestion, I've also included some of that in the box. The last thing in the box are gifts and favors. So in the Mother-to-Be's box, I included a gift card for her. She's a military family and is planning to move soon, so I didn't want to send a full gift. So I just sent her a gift card in this box so she can spend it on whatever she needs. And then in everyone's box, I sent these really cute Binky chapsticks. So it's made from an EOS chapstick, and it's just a printable in the shape of a Binky that when you unscrew the chapstick apart, you put these pieces in, and they look like adorable Binkies. And I thought that was such a cute little favor and a nice thing to add to the box. I hope you found these tips helpful as you plan your own virtual baby shower. Just because you're separated by distance does not mean you can't have a fun shower for your mother-to-be. So I hope that you'll have a lot of fun with this. I'll leave as much linked below with all of the products I've used and some of the suggestions, so check out the description box below. And if you enjoyed today's video, please consider subscribing. I'd love to have you join our creative community as I put together all kinds of parties, including decorations, tips, balloon tutorials to help you plan awesome parties. So until the next time, stay creative, and we'll see you later.